Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we are going to be reviewing the Amazon original series, The Rings of Power. So a few fun facts about The Rings of Power. This show has a budget of well over $1 billion in production, making The Rings of Power the most expensive series production thus far. Even more interestingly, $250 million of that sum was used to purchase the rights to the J.R. Tolkien story before Amazon could even dream of making their own show. The Amazon original first season was filmed in the beautiful country of New Zealand. Unfortunately, the pandemic did delay production at times, but didn't stop the overall completion according to sources. For some reason, however, Amazon has decided to film season 2 of this series in the United Kingdom. Furthermore, did you know that season 1 had a total of 3 directors? Episode 1 and 2 were led by Spanish film director named Juan Antonio Bayona, whose only other worthwhile film to mention, sort of, is the Lego Movie 2. For episodes 3, 4, 5, and 8, the project was led by British film director named Wayne Chi Yip, who practically has nothing worth mentioning on his resume. And lastly, for episodes 6 and 7, the project was led by Swedish film director named Charlotte Brainstrom, who also hasn't directed anything mainstream otherwise. I honestly don't know why so many different directors were chosen to complete this project, especially ones with no impressive previous movies or series under their belt. Seems like a risky move on Amazon's part. However, in my opinion, this risk turned out well for Amazon, as I think the first season of this series was good. In fact, if I were to rate the first season of the Amazon original, Rings of Power, I would give it a rating of 7.5 out of 10, which in my book means good, but there's definitely room for improvement. Let me tell you why. So Rings of Power takes us way back in time when certain characters we see in the Lord of the Rings trilogy and or the Hobbit trilogy were much younger or not even born yet, and certain events in Middle-earth have yet to transpire. The story shows us how a confused and tired evil lays dormant and even tries to take another path. However, those affected by its prior convictions search for revenge unequivocally, while everyone and everything else hangs in the balance trying to predict and survive the worldly changes. Pros of Rings of Power. Number 1. The imagery. Amazon has spared no expense for the Rings of Power series, especially when it comes to its geographical location and CGI, in order to provide its viewers with amazing scenery and structures. 2. Certain characters and their designs are great. Certain characters throughout the first season of this series blow you away with not only their incredible good looks and wardrobe, but also their amazing presence on film. Let's go over a few examples. Ismael Cruz Cardova, who plays the soldier elf Arender. Arender is a handsome warrior elf who displays charisma, keen instinct, quick reaction, as well as incredible combat and weapon abilities. Arender's abilities seem to even exceed those of other warrior elves. I mean, seriously, Arender showcased so many amazing skills throughout this first season. When Arender was pulled with a chain by a group of orcs, he quickly reacted and grabbed a tree branch and used it to pierce one of the orcs' neck. In a different scene, Arender and a character named Theo are running from a force of orcs while being shot at with arrows. Arender is so skilled that he saved Theo's life by pushing him down and swiftly catching an arrow that was headed directly for Theo's back. Then immediately and smoothly reverses the arrow and shoots it back at the orc, lessening the enemy's numbers.
Just relax. They are coming.
Arender is practically this series' Legolas. Orlando Bloom would be so proud. The trio to mention is Robert Aramayo, who plays the young Elrond, who is currently more of a politician than a warrior at this time. Owain Arthur, who plays the dwarf prince Durin IV, and Sophia Namvit, who plays the beautiful and loyal wife of Durin IV. The scenes that involve sincere friendship, Love and understanding between these three characters are both suspenseful and admirable to watch. I really enjoy the unique and impressive intellect that all three of these characters displayed while on screen. Although the vocabulary is no longer common, it was very enjoyable to hear. Morfydd Clark, who plays the younger she-elf, Galadriel, was also enjoyable. Although this actress did not have as much range both in emotions and facial expressions as her elder counterpart, she made up for it in badassness as a warrior. Young Galadriel's combat choreography is very crisp and fluent, and shot just right by the directors. When young Galadriel steps onto the battlefield, you know you're in for an awesome show, and someone is going to get hurt that isn't Galadriel. It also helps that Morfydd Clark is attractive with an amazing body. The beautiful Cynthia Oddie Robinson, who plays Queen Muriel, although her performance of classy and responsible royalty was executed well, honestly, all she had to do was be on screen, and I was happy. Cynthia's Queen Muriel was sheer beauty with power, to sum it up. Last but not least, Charlie Vickers as Sauron. Honestly, I didn't really believe that Charlie was indeed the Dark Lord Sauron. I thought to myself, no way Sauron is this handsome. This guy is a total Chad. This must be a prince or king within the story. But to my surprise, Sauron is a pretty face under that armored mask. Charlie did a great job, in my opinion, at making it somewhat difficult to determine exactly who he was and what he was capable of. Once Charlie started to show his combat skills, however, you slowly concluded that he was someone special. I also really enjoyed getting more scene time of Sauron in his armor, as his image was very scarce to almost non-existent in both Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Cons of Rings of Power. I would have liked to see more action scenes. In my opinion, Rings of Power is a little heavier on the dialogue side, and I would have preferred if they balanced it out with at least an additional 4 or 5 fight scenes in the first season. Alright guys, so that's it. That is my opinion about the Amazon original Rings of Power. So me personally, I really enjoyed the diverse casting that they did for the series. My favorite characters were characters such as Erendur, Durin the Fourth, and Elrond. And I think them and a few other characters did a really good job, okay? In my personal opinion, between Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings, and the Hobbit trilogy, I personally think that the Hobbit trilogy was one of the best so far. I really enjoyed all 3 of those movies. I enjoyed that series of events that took place. I thought the acting was substantial. I thought the characters were really interesting, and it just really surprised me. Okay. However, secondly, I think that Rings of Power would probably be the second best. Again, this is just my opinion. I know that some people are going to disagree with me, but I think The Hobbit was number 1. I think Rings of Power is second best. And honestly, I think Lord of the Rings is probably the third best out of the 3. To me, guys, I really felt like Lord of the Rings was very dialogue heavy, not as much action as there should have been to balance that out. There were a lot of boring parts, especially the parts that involved the hobbits and the trees. Okay, because I think like the third movie for sure, as well as the second movie, were very heavy on the scenes with the trees and the hobbits. So yeah, just kind of boring. Plus, if you rewatch Lord of the Rings now, if you compare it to The Hobbit as well as Rings of Power, the CGI does not stack up, like not even close. So I just, it's not to say that I don't like Lord of the Rings. Like, I felt like it was cool, but I really enjoyed The Hobbit. I thought The Hobbit was awesome, which is crazy because I actually thought I wasn't going to enjoy it because the main focus were the dwarves. However, the how do I put it? The new king, I forgot what his name was, the dwarf, king, and some of the other dwarves were really good characters, and the other supporting characters such as Thranduil, Legolas, the she-elf, Bart the bowman, a lot of them. I thought a lot of the characters did really good, so I really enjoyed The Hobbit. And then Rings of Power, bro, it's really good. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, give it a chance, man. It's really good. For those of you who have seen it, if you don't like it, hey, man, you're entitled to your opinion. I just hope that you don't like it because you genuinely feel like it's not good. I hope that you're not one of those people out there who don't like it just because you don't like the diverse casting. I feel like that's a really bizarre reason to not like it, even borderline racist, in my opinion. You know, that's just my opinion. For those of you who are saying that the appearance of the some of the characters it's not close to J.R. Tolkien's original idea. Hey man, Amazon spent $250 million to buy the rights to the story. You know, with all due respect, man, they could do whatever the fuck they want. You know, they paid $250 million. It's a lot of fucking money. If I spend that much on a story, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do with it too, you know. But I liked it. Not only did I like the diverse casting, but I liked the unique looks that they had. A lot of people were also complaining about the haircuts of a lot of the elves. I liked them. I liked Elrond's hair. I liked a lot of the other elves' hair. I liked, like I said, I liked Arendar. You know, I felt like Arendar was a great representation of the warrior elf. I felt like he was, again, this series Legolas, and I think he did the role a lot of justice. He was badass, dude. So that's just my opinion. Yeah, so that's how I feel about it. You guys let me know in the comments what you thought about Rings of Power. What would you guys rate them? Do you like Lord of the Rings better? Do you like The Hobbit better? Do you like Rings of Power better? I would love to hear your guys' opinions in the comments there. Everybody, I just want to say this, guys. Let's try to keep it respectful in the comments, because again, I know there's a lot of different opinions out there about Rings of Power and the casting and all that other kind of stuff. Let's definitely not take this to a racial place. We got Martin Luther King Day about to come up and stuff. We live in America, man, and as of now, America is a very diverse country, and we just need to respect each other and appreciate each other for the different things that we bring to the table. But at the end of the day, we're all people, man. We all have, feelings. We all hurt. We all love. We all die. Let's all just be one people. Okay. All right. Well, if you guys like this, give it a thumbs up, press the like button. And if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys another time. Later. Bye.
I don't know how much more I can take, 'cause I'm gonna need more than sunlight and getting in shape. Weight makes me panic and Lexapro drives me insane. Tell me, how do you do all your love when you're sick in the brain? And you're 2,000 miles away. So why am I stalking your Twitter and lying awake? I show my true colors, you left in my life got so gray. I can't get over you, yet I built up so much hate. But despite all the lies and projections, I hope you're